Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Okay, we are now live for a special episode of The Dorkening. And if you haven't heard, we've moved The Dorkening to Wednesdays. So we're merging dorks into Dorkening. And, so the new home is on Wednesdays. It's going to be a fun show. And with us today we have... Oh, you know what? That's Steven. Steven, why'd you take James' spot?
Steven can go first. It's fine with me.
I love Steven's like, what the fuck?
No.
Why are you coming to me with your issues?
I can get you, Steven. I'll get you, Steven, and your little dog too.
No, I was able to fix it. So I have this new thingamabob where I hit a button for James, and James is supposed to pop up, but it was Steven. But we have James here.
You could have stayed on Steven. Like, you didn't have to come to me.
No, because I need to fix the cameras. Okay, so this is supposed to be Yo-Yo, but it's Patrick. So I'll switch over. There we go, Yo-Yo.
You've had this technology for so long.
If you hit me, it would again.
You can tell it's not me because I don't have glasses on. That's how you can tell the difference.
Okay, who's this supposed to be? This is supposed to be Patrick. Patrick is now Steven, so I'll switch him back. And there we go, Patrick.
And away we go.
All right, I have officially unfucked us, so let's go.
And now, Steven.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so, because James, he had to hop out, hop back in, and it messed up all the cameras. But it is now fixed.
Yeah, blame me.
Yeah.
Not the controller.
No. Speaking of the controller, there may be parts of the show where it's just going to be the four of you guys, and so that I can step away because I fucked up my back. And I need to get up like every so often, otherwise it like reverts back to being fucked up again. So doctor's orders, I can't sit for longer than 30 minutes. Like 20 minutes is a good time. So
not with that attitude.
Okay, so I put in the show notes, well, for the title, that we're in the golden age of Trek, which I firmly believe. What about you guys?
No, we're
Yeah.
we're like in the silver age or the bronze age of Trek. The
I wouldn't even
golden
say
age.
bronze age.
The
golden-
age of Trek.
The Golden Age was like the original series and Next Generation. All the other series was like
I would do the golden age as Next Generation, Voyager, and Deep Space Nine.
True.
What would you call the original series then?
Silver.
Silver.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to
Okay.
think they had 3 series going on at almost at the same time,
Okay,
and all those series went 9 seasons,
yeah.
All of them can hold their own.
and they all tell
Well,
different stories.
I didn't.
And they tell a continuous story too, jumping in between events.
I didn't care for Deep Space Nine.
I
You
never
have
watched
me.
Space Nine.
If you
Listen,
are-
I am not a big Trek guy just right now.
I do gotta say one thing. If you are a documentary fan, check out What We Left Behind, the Deep Space Nine documentary. It's really, really good.
Okay.
I heard because Deep Space Nine was like the first show to kind of go a little bit like darker and like touch a little bit more of like it was a lot of Dominion War. It was a lot of major conflict in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this is very much the Bronze Age because they had so much work to do. Even though I still enjoyed Enterprise, I saw what they were trying to do with Enterprise. That's the first Star Trek show I watched all 4 seasons on the day it came out in its entirety, like ever. Yeah, was it a little bogged down with trying to hit certain check marks, but that was a cool time. Like you didn't know anything before the Federation. Like that was kind of a cool way to kind of tell a different story without really infringing on story and story arcs and stuff that's already been there. And you kind of ran into that, a little bit with like the new Kelvin universe. They had to kind of reboot it to kind of keep stories going. But between Discovery, which again I couldn't get past the first season. But so you shake my head, Leo. I started watching some of the short treks on the little like 8-minute to 10-minute episodes, and I like it. So I might, if they're moving forward with an Star Trek Enterprise show with Pike, I will probably watch it. But Discovery just kind of doesn't hold it for me. But Picard, on the other hand,
did you finish the first season of Discovery?
No, I couldn't get through it, and I'm sorry. I'm in that boat recently. If you have to tell me I have to wade through the first season before it gets good, I'm just gonna jump to the second season.
Okay.
If you're in a boat, you shouldn't be waiting.
Okay, so who here watched Discovery? Wow, really?
I am not a Star Trek guy.
Okay. Steven, I thought you would have watched Discovery.
I saw Picard.
Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
finally I got CBS All Access after Discovery because I wanted to see Twilight Zone, and then I heard about Picard.
We're definitely going to talk about Picard, but I mentioned we're entering the golden age of Trek because if you get through Discovery, like every Star Trek show, you need to grow the beard. I can't hear you, James. Did you mute yourself again?
Third place, bronze.
No.
Stone.
Okay, well,
Paper.
anyway, we're entering a good age of Star Trek. I think Star Trek has been refreshed. It's reborn. I mean, the movies are sort of like petering out, but I think with TV...
I thought Star Trek Beyond was awesome.
I loved Star Trek Beyond, yeah.
Not the best way to celebrate 50 years.
How could you call it petering out if you're going to say you loved Beyond?
Well, because there's the fourth... they were having issues with the fourth one. So
there's always issues behind the scenes of everything.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been trying to get the fourth one made for a while now, and
they don't want to pay Pine. That's why.
Yeah.
Tarantino and...
So Picard, yes. James.
But anyway,
we've all seen Picard, right?
Yep. I would say.
Okay. What did you guys think?
I was talking about it a little bit before, and I was saying how I definitely got a little bit of a Professor X vibe with that weird flashback. I mean, it's no fault of the writers or anything, but not the flashback with the weird side thing. Like, and it was determined because you did not see Picard eat any fruit in this episode. He clearly prefers Android to Apple, so I'm just throwing that out there.
So to give a little backlog or a little intro into it, this is what, 20 years past Next Generation?
Yeah, so it's 20 years after Next Generation, 10 years after the Romulan supernova, and the attack on Mars.
Yep. So that is, they discussed that is why Picard left Starfleet. I took some notes. Let's see, what did he say?
I have to say, the way they did that was really good.
Yes.
Yeah. I was waiting for a huge expedition dump. Yep, dump somewhere in this episode. After I watched the episode, I went back and watched The Children of Mars, which sets up that moment on Mars, the attack on the utopian shipyards. And it made sense. It kind of clicked a little bit more. But, the way they kind of told it and the way they kind of kept the story going and not bog you down to basically what's happened in the last 20 years was really good. And a lot of that information came out very naturally. It felt naturally. I mean, other than the part where you're in the institute with Alison Pill and she's just doing, that's that big exposition dump that you had about synths and androids and Maddox and all that stuff. But like the interview that they had seemed very natural. Yeah. I like how they didn't really alter the timeline at all. They still recognize the Romulan supernova. They acknowledge that Romulus and Remus are gone, that they tried to rescue these people like Spock did in the Star Trek movie. So they didn't really super alter the canon too much. I did find one thing that they did alter, but I can talk about that later.
Well, so you mentioned one thing, Maddox, which was awesome that they brought him up, and James, care to enlighten people? Yes.
So I actually went back to watch the episode today, season 2, episode 9, A Measure of a Man, where you first introduce Maddox into the canon, which I remember seeing for a while. It's really, really good. It's like how Maddox wants to just basically just tear Data down and figure out how he works, and and it's a whole debate if Data's human or does Data deserve rights, or is he property of Starfleet? It's a really good episode. I think it's one of the better episodes of the series. It's early on too, and you find out that he's just very curious. He wants to make more Datas. He wants to make more androids, and he feels the only way to do that is break him down to his lowest common denominator and kind of pull apart his positive brain and see exactly what's happening. So I was really cool. Like I said, I had to go back a little bit and watch the episode to see exactly what's going on, but it's very interesting. So, like I said, you could tell, and this is why I'll agree with you. This is a new age of Strek, is that they're honoring what's come before them and not trying to redo everything.
No, totally agree. And Discovery's, the same way. It is they're honoring the past, but definitely breaking way for the future. And if you haven't finished Discovery, so I believe we're going to end up with 3 shows, where Pike and Spock cover in the original series. We have Picard for the Next Generation series, and then Discovery is well beyond that into the future. So with Picard, he's having all these dreams about Data, which they haven't really explained why, and dreaming about what happened with Mars. So with Mars, I believe you mentioned the synths attacked and killed how many million people?
92,000.
92,000. So
and to a point where that Mars is still burning 10 years after the fact.
And the reason why they attacked that is because they were trying to evacuate the Romulan homeworld, and the synths attacked the utopian shipyards because they were trying to build ships fast enough to help evacuate all these millions of people on Romulus.
The one thing that stood out to me, which was very interesting in that whole scene, when there's a couple of scenes that, I mean, Patrick Stewart did a great job in that scene. It's one of the, I think, kind of set that episode really up for success in the series moving forward. Was she asked, like, why are you saving millions of Romulan lives, the sworn enemy of the Federation? He goes, because they're lives. Like, we need to save them.
Yeah, he corrects her. He's like, lives. Like,
Yeah.
not Romulan lives. She's just like, lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, that whole thing going into, like, and then Starfleet turned its back on itself. And, like,
He compared it to Dunkirk.
Yeah.
well, I thought that was very interesting as well. But again, it shows that his love of the Federation is for what it stands for and what could be done about it. And that echoes in Nemesis, Insurrection, First Contact. Like, every time you see Picard, it's always been, these are the ideals of the Federation. This is why the Federation was founded. These are the ideals I want to put forward. And I will fight if this is not right.
Well, also keep in mind that humanity is still on trial, right? From Q? Do you think that
That'd be-
plays...
If he shows up in this series, I would shit my pants. That would be awesome.
I'm all for it if he shows
Yeah.
up.
I don't know.
Picard.
Hands for it. But
I mean, if he shows up in season 2, I mean, that's even better. I mean, Guinan is going to come up in season 2.
Yeah, and she...
So-
Oh,
I did get.
what's
and-
that, Patrick?
I said I don't get what you guys are talking about because I'm not a
Okay.
like.
so,
I've watched some of the movies, like up to Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, I think.
Yep.
But if and I might be wrong, I might be way off, but is that not a Borg cube?
It is, yes.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Like, I recognize that, and I know a little bit about them, and I know who Locutus is,
Jean-Luc.
but I don't know.
So Q early on in the first season is
Well, first episode is...
episode is he basically, there's these like omnipotent beings who can control everything, and he basically walks up to Picard and basically is like, you're gonna represent humanity, and I'm going to judge you on your actions, and if you show that humanity is good, we'll let humanity live, but if not, I'm going to wipe off humanity off the face of the universe. And so throughout all 9 seasons of Next Generation, he shows up randomly in the episode to keep testing him and seeing exactly like, okay, like, are you really as good as you think you are? Are you real? Oh, we should wait till he has headphones on so he knows exactly what the hell we're talking about. Because if not, we could be like penis. So
So it's like a way more intense Kobayashi Maru test.
basically, but like and so Q is one of the ones that pushes the Federation, the Enterprise, to a Borg cube, and being like, "Oh, you guys don't have a big enough challenge for us? Okay, cool," and like flicks them into like a different part of the Delta Quadrant and finds a Borg cube, and that's the first introduction to the Borg. So he's like a little bit of like a mischief. I consider him like the Star Trek's version of like Loki. Like he's just there to cause mischief and what was it? All Good Things, the season finale, like has him in front of like a basically being like, this is it. Like, show me what like you're made of. But even at the episode being like, I'm not done with you.
Yeah.
So
Show
that's
me
always
what you got.
show me what you got.
And
So,
I
what does he look like? I might recognize.
John Delancey. John Delancey is the character. Is the actor. And I apologize. I don't think it was the first episode. I think you're right, James. It was later in the first season.
are you sure? Are you sure?
I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've seen it.
Nope, it was the first episode.
It was
You were right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if he shows up, so Patrick is Googling him right now, I imagine.
I mean,
IMDb. I see him sitting what looks like a chocolate lion.
That's him.
Okay. He's got like a funny hat and like red robes and red gloves.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he looked like he's going to the Grammys or something.
Yeah, that was he was dressed as a judge from like Our Future.
The 20. Yeah. But
Yep.
Yeah, so like I would be interested to see if he shows up, but you know, in like I said, one of the things that I very much enjoyed the episode too, it wasn't paced badly too. Like it kind of just kept going, and it didn't really slow. There was plenty of time to breathe in scenes, and you kind of got to understand a little bit more about like Picard and like, you know, why is he here? You know, you learn a little bit more about like his Romulans are friends. Like I saved you. Like I wanted to save you. Like this is you helping me out. But also another line that got me too, and he goes, "I haven't been waiting to live. I've been waiting to die. Like I don't know why.
I haven't been living. I've been waiting to die."
Yeah,
I mean, that echoes back to one of the things he was saying earlier today with earlier in the episode, when he was talking about regretting waking up. Like it was
because he doesn't want the game to end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cards.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm watching that. They're playing cards, and Data flops down 5 queens. I'm like, that cheating bastard. Like 5 queens?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
well, because that's what I'll go into when they were like, because I figured Data would be very prominent, like very, very prominent. Like you see him on the vineyard. I'm like, okay, well maybe he's working there, because in the comic that was released before the new Star Trek movie, what came out in 07 or 08, whenever that movie came out, it showed that before the android that was in the drawer, Patrick, actually recovered all of Data's memories and became Data again, and he actually became captain of the Enterprise E. They changed that. They got rid of that story. They retconned that arc, which I thought was very interesting, because I thought that was a very, very interesting arc to have him as a captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I have a legit question, and I don't know if this is something that was covered in the previous shows, but is there a specific name of the wine that Picard produces? I don't know.
No, it's just so.
Is this a family?
It's always called
Vineyard.
Chateau Picard.
Okay, I didn't know, because I know like on Game of Thrones, Tyrion Lannister makes a reference how he'd wants a vineyard and he'd call it the Imp's Delight. I don't know if there was like a specific like reference that Picard had. He's like, I would call it, you know, Earl Red, because he liked his Earl Grey tea. Call it like Earl Red.
It was always it's a family farm.
Yeah. It's been in his family for a while.
Was it always a vineyard though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he visited a couple times during the series.
He visited a couple times, and there's a couple bottles of it on the Enterprise that he pulls out for special occasions. But when you learn the history of the Picards, and you learn a little bit in Nemesis, and a little bit in Generations, you find out that he had a brother, and his brother was in charge of the vineyard, and he went off to be an explorer. So,
Your twin brother Luke John.
By the way, you can order that wine. Somebody actually.
I'm not
makes
surprised.
How hilarious is it that he named his dog number 1?
I feel like it's not going to end up being hilarious at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because something happened to Riker.
Well, we know.
Well, no, you already see Riker. You already see Riker alive.
Yeah.
Are we?
Or is it a dream?
Yeah.
Are
No,
we?
I think it's. I think he's alive.
Okay.
Are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis are supposed to
They're
come
going to
back.
be in it, but are they going to be alive?
Okay.
Comes the question.
Yeah, like, is it a flashback, or is it like, you know what?
Is he-
I'm gonna call them Yoda Data thing.
No, I think I well, because he literally asked him, was like, "Would you get yourself into this time, John Luke?"
And
That could
doesn't
still
mean
be
he's alive.
No, I'm almost. They're alive.
He could have found himself in the Nexus. I don't know.
Oh, please don't bring that bullshit back.
I
I just
had to be an
watched
asshole.
I just watched all those movies, like all 4 of them. Oh, mother of God.
The Next Generation movies.
I don't mind Nemesis. It gets a lot of flack for it, but I think it's very well done. Huh?
Is that the one with Tom Hardy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody pointed out in Picard he has his Dixon hat in the background when he would go on the holodeck as the detective.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
Well, I like the little when he went to the archives.
Yes.
I'm almost positive that if you literally just lambasted Starfleet on live galactic television, you're not strolling into Starfleet headquarters like like he did like the next day. Like I'm almost positive they were like Jean-Luc.
You know, but he's saved the universe how many times, and I'm sure he has like immunity.
I would feel like once is enough.
Yeah. He probably has like permanent immunity for like whatever he does.
Yeah.
Well, realistically, I mean,
You don't have clearance to track me. Like, what was that about? What does that mean? Is that reference I don't know? Like, is that common?
Not that I
Like,
know.
you can't track my whereabouts. You don't have high enough clearance. It's like, so who's higher than him that's tracking his
well, he's a
whereabouts?
retired. He, I don't know. Was it Section 31?
Yeah, but did they do that for everybody? Like, is that something that happens to every? Like, again, I'm immersed in lore. So
I mean, it's the 25th century at this point. So I mean, it's pretty simple. Like, they probably can track anybody they want, and they probably have a certain clearance to look at like admirals and above.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, is this something that has come up prior?
Not that I know of.
No.
But it also
Right.
feels fitting.
It does make sense, but I just didn't know if this was like, because I got kind of confused when she pulled out like her phone. I was like, does she realize she's a robot? Like, and she's like projecting all this stuff. And then I realized she was just calling her mom. So I was like, oh, it's just some mundane activity.
I'm very, like I said, that whole that part, like I'm really excited. Like when I saw what kind of the arc was going to be leading towards, I was like, I'm on board. I'm ready to see this journey. I'm ready to go. Like I said, it looks really good in the way Patrick Stewart's been pitching it, and they've already agreed to do a second season. I'm ready. I have a very strong feeling that Data will come back at the end of this in some sort of form.
Yeah.
I think I know what's going to happen.
What is it?
I think what's going to happen. He's going to find a baby Data, and he's going to have to protect him. And the internet will be abuzz with baby Data memes.
But is it Data with like something happened in the molding process and his ears are long and floppy?
Yeah, he's got like, it's basically they'll just like spray paint Baby Yoda gold so he'll look like yogurt from
Oh my god, that's fantastic.
He'll still talk
Baby
with
yogurt.
like regular Data voice. Like it'll still be Brent Spiner.
Captain.
So Tori Pritchard says, I'm that nerd that started bawling right when Picard started playing. I think, all of us got a little teary-eyed during the episode, especially, during the intro and you hear that Next Generation music at the end and you see Enterprise D. Tori Pritchard also says, I'm glad it's back and I totally missed all of these people and I hope we get to see them all.
Well, so Leo, here's an interesting thing. So again, I watched Nemesis, so that was the last time he's been on screen. The song that he sings at the beginning of Picard is the song that Before sings at the end of Nemesis, which is the song that Data sings at Riker's wedding in that movie.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow. I haven't rewatched Nemesis since it came out.
I saw that in theaters.
Yeah, same here.
It's really good. I think it's really enjoyable. I'm a weird guy and I like Insurrection a little bit too. Just because again, I like the Next Generation cast and crew. So it's one of those things where like anytime it's like on Enterprise E and I'm like, I just love that ship. So We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm
yeah.
very, very curious to see where it goes.
Yep.
I'm very I'm waiting for tomorrow for the episode to drop tonight at midnight. Right? Is it the new episode?
Right.
3 a.m. It's midnight Pacific time.
So I'll be watching that tomorrow night.
So it's
I'll
always
definitely check it out. Like, it seems interesting. Like I said, I'm not a huge like Star Trek person. Like, I never really got into, Next Generation or even like the original series. But it's interesting. Like, I know some stuff. Like, I don't know everything, but I know. Like, I'm familiar with SETI Alpha 5, SETI Alpha 6. I'm familiar with that. I'm familiar. Yes, yeah, all the movies, especially Double Dumbass on You. That's probably my favorite movie.
What was that? 4?
4, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's the whales in it, George and Gracie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a fan of that one.
Nice.
You have to use your hands. How quaint.
A keyboard. Oh, quite.
So the real question is I want to ask is, with the onset of this show kind of being a hit, is there any other captain that you would like to follow as kind of like a spin-off series or a ship or something like that, or just a character in general?
We need to have a Pike and Spock series. That has to happen.
Well, we know that's going to happen. Like, that's already been tentatively announced. So, like, I'm saying of like Next Generation and like.
I'd like to know what Benjamin Sisko's is up to.
I'd like to, personally, in my opinion, I'd like to see like an Adventures of Janeway or something. Also, CBS All Access was talking about they're doing like a Section 31 series coming soon.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know what the reference to.
Section 31 is a part of Starfleet, which is an unregulated, like, weapons design, secret agent type of branch. And they kind of got carte blanche to do whatever they need to do to make the Federation succeed.
So Discovery Season 2 is heavy in Section 31. Matter of fact, it is the main plot point.
Also, in Deep Space Nine, Section 31 is relevant. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Janeway. I really wouldn't mind it. See, for me, it's like I would love to see more of like pre even Discovery. Like, give me those first years of the Federation. Give me more of the Romulan Federation War and them, doing their initial exploration and interacting with these species. I'm kind of interested to see what Discovery does 930 years in the future. So I think that's going to be interesting. I think they might lose some fans though, because it's like we want to see the time we're in. Like, your show is this time period. We want to see more of that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you guys, do yourself a favor and watch some of those short treks. I watched the Tribble episode.
Yeah.
With H. John Benjamin. Is that right? No, John H. Benjamin. That's what, from the guy Bob Burgers.
H. John.
He is in it, and it's Tribbles. It's the most ridiculous. And it's like 8 minutes. It's like 12 minutes long, and it's just funny because it's just him being
like Arby's.
No. So, well, it tells you, like, if you know the Next Generation, what Tribbles are. That tells you why Tribbles are such a nuisance. How we kind of created the Tribble problem, and it was basically because they were monitoring this planet and they were trying to bring it back to life by like doing soil, cleaning the water, adding like a new life form. And so he goes like, well, I have a Tribble and you shave off the hair and it's meat and it's good and cook it. It's just, a piece of meat. And so he like basically like alters its DNA to make the rapid reproduction of it. And it's actually like really, really funny. So
I'll have to check it out. I watched the cartoon with the space bug there and the robot.
Yeah, like I said, I watched Children of Mars because I wanted to see it after I watched Picard, which again, that's a really good, that's like really like kind of,
yeah,
that one's really. Did you watch it, Leo, or no?
I did.
So, like, you know what I'm talking about. That whole arc is like, it's just so like, oh, come on.
Yeah, especially knowing what happens with Picard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, go see it, watch it.
Yeah.
Get CBL Access as a week-long trial. So
There you go. Or just
I already paid for it.
yeah, or have our fearless leader just hand out his password.
Well, I think it's worth it. You know, CBS All Access has some good stuff on it, so you know, it's yeah. Especially Discovery. Give Discovery a try, please. I'm begging you.
I'll take a look at it. I mean, I just finished. You know, I like space stuff. I just finished Lost in Space season 2.
So good.
And
How
like
was
that.
it? I kind of lost my interest in season 1. I kind of.
This is really good. They give you some real interesting stuff, and it's not just, oh, don't worry, if we screw something up, the robot will fix everything. We don't have to really advance the plot ourselves.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Okay.
No,
Good. All right, maybe I'll go read back. I'll go back and continue watching it. I kind of stopped halfway during season 1 because I kind of got to the point and I was like, okay, like let's move this like along.
Also on Netflix, I know we want to talk about Doctor Strange, but October Faction, I started watching that. That's really good.
Yeah, I've been watching The Outsider on HBO, which is, you want to talk about a slow burn, creepy ass freaking show. Go watch that.
I've been starting to watch Dracula.
Oh, on the BBC, I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
What's on Netflix? Isn't it?
It's a
on
BBC
Netflix.
product.
Yeah. It's only like 3 episodes, though, right?
Well, I mean, it's
But isn't
BBC.
each?
It's
But
long.
they're like Sherlock episodes. They're like 90 minutes.
Okay.
So it's pretty much, you put them all together, it's pretty much a duration as long as Bram Stoker's Dracula 92. It's a 2-hour movie. All 3 episodes.
Winona Ryder, I love you. I will save you from
It's a BBC Dracula, but I'm
vampire because I am John.
comparing the running time. But
Did you see Bill and Ted are in the new Walmart commercial?
Oh no, is that for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's like the Enterprise gets there. You see the DeLorean. You see
It's been around for a while. You're talking about the
No, this is-
pickup one?
this is it's a pickup one, but it's all new.
Yeah, they did that last year.
Yeah.
This
Well, I
is,
think
said
they did that with
DeLorean.
DeLorean. They did it with the Ecto One. They did it with Jurassic Park Jeep. I think they're just doing an updated one to kind of keep selling that.
yeah, this is updated. The Bill and Ted phone booth drops, and Bill comes out, old Bill, and then there's a young Bill.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I hope that trailer drops on Sunday.
I've seen I've seen a couple of those Super Bowl commercials. The Hyundai one with Chris Evans and John Krasinski and Rachel Dratch is pretty good.
I still
But
got to see that one.
I like I'm not a big fan of the song, but like that Old Town Road song that's like everywhere. Apparently, like Sam Elliott walks into a bar and just starts like reciting it, but like not singing it. It's just like spoken word, and like he walks in and like everyone just stops talking.
Yeah, the ones that I saw, Bryan Cranston was imitating The Shining. Yeah, and then
she's like, "Oh, I'll take that."
And then they kill off Mr. Peanut.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah,
I've seen
I have
nothing because I don't pay attention to these stuff.
Well, it was funny. Jen even talked about this. She was like, "Then why are you releasing it like the week before the Super Bowl? Like, didn't you pay all this money to put it on the Super Bowl?"
Probably a cut of like a longer ad.
Well, some of these are like almost a minute long. Like, how long
Yeah.
are some of these commercials?
well, think about it. It's like $3 to $6 million for 30 to 30 seconds
5
per
million.
minute. Yeah,
5 million for 30 seconds.
so
Crazy.
Honestly, I would just put it on YouTube and save myself the goddamn 5 million. But
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but you don't have hundreds of billions. Like, if someone
Yeah.
was like,
that's how you quickly lose it.
well,
if you can do this for like $12, you'd be like, all right. I can do a Super Bowl commercial for the equivalent of $12. Yeah, that all right.
I got a question for all of you. What movie trailers do you think will appear on the Super Bowl? Obviously, Fast 9 won't appear because it's dropping 2 days from now.
Well, I thought they announced that a lot of the movie trailers are not going to be on the Super Bowl due to them raising the price.
So they'll probably have like little quick spots where they tell you to go online.
Yeah, they've been doing that the past couple of years.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian season 2.
Well, I heard WandaVision was rumored to drop a trailer.
Oh.
Since Falcon and Winter Soldier's pushed to August now, probably get a trailer for that.
Like I said, I could see Bill and
I
Ted.
thought it's drop in Disney's.
King Kong versus
like
Godzilla.
King Kong versus Godzilla.
I heard that's going to be released closer to Wonder Woman.
Really?
Well, because it's a Warner Brothers property, they want to tie it into a large release.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, we're dying for a trailer. For a trailer.
Yeah.
Well,
March.
I finally saw Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I was like, I'm sold. Like,
Yeah.
just give me more of this stuff.
I saw it in the theater. I was like, oh, this is so good.
Please, can you just have them not fight at night? Like, please.
But when
you say-
last year they dropped The Irishman, they just dropped like bullets falling and the cast, and they didn't release The Irishman until later in the year. So
Like I
that sold me already.
I'll be surprised. Like I said, I think like you got to think what movies are be coming out. I don't think they're going to do Wonder Woman. I don't think they're going to do. I could see a Bill and Ted teaser like later next week. The big trailer actually drops.
Yeah.
Like teasers to trailers, because God forbid that's what our industry does now.
Yeah, if they were smart, what they would do is pull together and just make a 30-second ad, like just listing a bunch of trailers. They go here and just like, wow.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, they got a bunch of stuff.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Something else we should see about is Doctor Strange.
I have a bad feeling about that.
Okay,
No, that's
so
dark.
so they lost the director, and rumor has well, James, you tell me what you heard, and I'll tell you what I heard.
I just heard creative differences,
Yeah.
but my one concern is this is sounding like Ultron. They want to set this movie up to be the jumping off point for the next X amount of movies, and they're trying to cram a lot of story in a 2.5-hour movie. And I think because they want to touch on so many properties with the multiverse idea, that he's like, no, I want it. Like, this isn't the sequel I wanted to make. Like, I will work within your guidelines, but like, I have this other arc I want to do with the other sorcerer,
Mordo.
Yeah.
Like, I want to keep working on that arc. So I will play with this stuff, but I'm not. It just feels like Ultron and Joss Whedon all over again, and like he's like, I'm not doing this.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say this real quick, and I know you had something, Patrick. What I heard, the theory that he left is possibly because he's under such a time crunch, because we have this moving monster that is Marvel now, that everything needs to fall in line, bam, 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 and he needed more time, from what I heard, to produce something of quality, and they're like, no, you got to get it done by this time. That's what I heard is why he dropped out. But again, it's all rumors. And what were you going to say, Patrick?
I was going to say, it sounds, based on what you guys are just saying, like trying to throw so much stuff together, it sounds a lot like, all these different rumors I keep hearing about Thor Love and Thunder, where they're like, oh yeah, we're going to introduce Silver Surfer and Galactus and the God Butcher and, Lady Thor and like all this.
Christian Bale.
Beta Ray Bale. Like, how much are you trying to cram into this movie? Like, pick one lane.
Yep. And that's my concern is they're going to do the multiverse and be like, oh, there's Deadpool. Oh, there are X-Men. Oh, here, like they're going to do like this Into the Spider-Verse thing with Doctor Strange, and it's not going to work. Like, I understand that's the best way to bring Deadpool over. The Deadpool Ryan Reynolds character is do this like multiverse thing, but like, guys, like have it come organically.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, unless you're telling me that this arc is going to be the House of M is going to have a lot to do with this story arc, I'm on board.
I don't want something like House of M shoved in. House of M deserves its own.
Well, I think that's what WandaVision is House of M.
Yeah, fine, I'm good with that. I don't want House of M shoved into a Doctor Strange movie. No.
Well, I think you're going to get that because they said Scarlet Witch is most likely going to be one of the villains.
Should that be that precipitated because of the show?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's what they're saying is that whatever happens in WandaVision will lead into Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but don't shove House well, I guess kind of going to be shoving. God damn, I don't want this.
It seems like there's been a lot of Disney drama. I mean, obviously the Doctor Strange debacle we're talking about, and obviously recently the Obi-Wan debacle. You know,
that wasn't a debacle though. Ewan McGregor said, "Shut the hell up! It's all bullshit."
Yeah.
So I think
he actually was like, "Hello there."
Well, I think it could be just as execs. It could be just execs going crazy with the whole Last Jedi.
What was wrong with Last Jedi?
You mean Rise of Skywalker?
Sorry, Rise of Skywalker. That's what I meant.
What was wrong with Rise of Skywalker?
I will say the undercover boss Kylo Ren thing that happened last Saturday was a lot better than Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my god, that was so funny. But
Matt, the radar tech is still the best one.
Yeah. Put those two together, better than Rise of Skywalker.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
I will say I would love to see them kind of take that House of M thing and like Simpsonize it a little bit now that they own The Simpsons. And like instead of her saying no more mutants, you can be like, oh no, that's not what the script says. Oh, and she like starts scratching stuff out like Lionel Hutz. It's like, no, more mutants.
No. Oh, Lionel Hutz. Yeah, I mean, I just feel I'm with you, Leo. I think Marvel is so big and it's such it's such a machine now. Realistically, I don't even think Feige knows what the hell to do with it right now. I just feel like the next set of movies, because of what Endgame was and how definitive it was, that you are going to lose some audience because you're giving them movies. No one cares about Black Widow. Sorry, no one does. Again, like I said, that movie is 7 years too late. Sorry, because
I'm going to add about that when you're done.
Because I found out it takes place after Civil War. Oh, shocker! Maybe that's when the movie should have been made, is after Civil War, but or even after Winter Soldier when she comes forward and kind of releases all the information about S.H.I.E.L.D. There you go. Again, you're doing the Eternals, which you don't know nothing about, and they've also said in the plot points that, oh, these people were here all this time, but only come out of the hiding after Endgame. So you're telling me that you had these godlike creatures that have been here for eternity and didn't step up when half the planet disappeared? Like, can you tell me that, please? Like, explain that to me. And then you're going to have 4 movies in next year with Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Thor, and the 10 Rings. Another character nobody wants because you have to appease the Chinese market, because you can't do 10 Rings properly because you even though you set it up in the one short with him getting kidnapped or getting killed, almost killed in the prison because the Mandalorian is real, not Guy Pearce.
The Mandarin?
Mandarin, sorry.
Mandarin.
I'm like
A hell of a
You're getting your Disney's mixed together.
Oh, I'm fired up because it just feels like, you had an opportunity to bring him in the Iron Man because him and Iron Man had some of the greatest story arcs ever, and now Iron Man's dead, and so you're going to have him go against this other character, which I know nothing about, which I'm not going to give him credit. Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I knew nothing about Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy is a totally different group than it was originally. But how do you not know Black Panther?
I just didn't. Like, shut up. But like I said, I just feel like they're getting to a point where they're stretched so thin, and the quality is going to dip. And you're going to tell me all this stuff happens after Endgame? It's hard for me to believe that. It's going to be very hard for a lot of people to believe that.
Yeah.
Here's my issue when they're putting this movie, and this is just in general when you see stuff like this, because it's it's technically a prequel. I know it's a solo story, but this brings me back to the same shit that I complained about with Solo, a Star Wars story. Is you're going to put these, in order to make this like fun and action packed and adventure-y, you're going to be putting this character that we know what their ultimate fate is. You're going to be putting them in a situation where that's like, I'm falling out of a plane, or I'm being surrounded by guys with guns. Oh, I wonder if I'll get out of this alive. I wonder if I'll be okay by the end of this movie. Like, that she comes out of it okay. Like, you've already ruined the movie.
I mean, this would be a perfect time to introduce like the life model decoys.
Yeah,
I think they haven't done that yet.
Tony Stark does mention it.
I know, but like if we haven't seen it yet, so far, like the closest we got was Skrull.
Yeah, but it'd be the perfect time, Tim.
Oh, and that's another thing. They're trying to introduce Sword now as well, and they're going to try to shove that
Yeah, it's going to be a TV series, right?
But here's the thing: I shouldn't have to do homework to enjoy these movies. It goes back to Rise of Skywalker. I shouldn't have to watch all the Marvel Disney Plus stuff to understand what's going on in some of these shows, some of these movies.
I don't think you need to with Rise of Skywalker.
Well, you had to kind of to understand some of the plot points or plot holes. You had to. It's all listed in a book.
yeah.
See, I followed along quite. I mean, I know there was like fan service and references to other things, but I didn't think like the Mandalorian didn't show me anything that I've never seen before in Star Wars.
Well, it's going to be interesting regardless. We're definitely going to have our...
Sword.
What's that?
Huh?
What?
You said Sword. Who's ever gonna have in Sword?
They've already shown it in.
But the Spider-Man.
Yeah, at the end of Spider-Man, it's Sword. It's Fury with the Skrulls.
Yeah, he was like up on vacation. He was up in the spaceship
Yeah.
because the two Skrulls were him and Hill.
Yeah, it's Sword.
I'm just trying to think if they're gonna use this as a way to introduce some of the X-Men. Because I mean, Sword comprises like Beast and things like.
I think it's setting up Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Why does everybody want Secret Invasion?
Well, I think they want to do Secret Invasion as a Disney Plus series.
Why? Why would you want to do that?
I just want to see What If.
yeah.
Well, I know we're getting Clone Wars next month. What's the next original like geeky series on Disney Plus?
Clone Wars.
Watch the Imagineering story. It's like 8 parts, and it's all about how they built Disneyland, Disney World, and all the parks from the Imagineerings who actually built these attractions. It's unbelievable the stories they tell and how they came about it. They talk about like the Eisner years, which is considered one of the worst years for the parks because they did all that like growth with not a lot of like backing for it, and they just talk about all that stuff, and it's just interesting. It's an interesting history lesson. It is a history story, and it's literally broken down to like Disneyland, and then picking up the pieces after Walt dies, and the Florida Project, and all their parks overseas, and how they built like Tokyo Disney, the other parks there, and how they changed the rides, and it's really good the detail they go into it.
What's the name of it?
The Imagineering story. But like you find stuff about like leading up to the release of Disneyland, Walt had helicopters come and fly low so they could dry the tar on the roads in the concrete 3 hours before opening.
Oh wow!
Like they were still putting
shit.
the park together the day they were opening the park. It's bonkers. And how like Walt Disney was in charge of the books, and he was like, Disney, we're running at Walt. He's running. He's like, I don't care, just do it, get it done. I don't care about the cost, just get it done. And Roy's like, I'm running out of money. But it's just you hear how they did like the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean and some of like It's a Small World and some of the World Fair stuff. It's awesome. It's so cool. So
Something I'm gonna have to watch before I venture down to Galaxy's Edge next month.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I'm going in I'm going in May.
Ah, no, would you? Make sure you guys build lightsabers. I need to.
I am.
Oh,
I already
It's
booked it.
$200. It's $200. I'm all set.
Yeah.
No, it's $200, but it's the experience. And oh
Yes.
my god, I
But-
would cry like a 5-year-old child.
So I was told that once you build the lightsaber, you have to keep it in its bag. You cannot wander the park with your lightsaber out.
My cousin
be
did
By stormtroopers.
last week. Last week he was there 2 weeks ago, and he built it, and he was fucking around the park with it.
Well, you can't bring it on planes. You have to mail it. You can mail it. Disney will pay for it to get shipped home.
Well, we're driving down, so we don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
I'm-
planes.
I go.
Yeah, we're literally.
For that reason.
He's just gonna be in the car like.
Yeah,
Me and,
Guys, take the wheel. Woo!
Well,
me, and
there's
Jen are going down in May for a quick little vacation, and then we're going back down in October for a full week. But we're literally going in May just to do Star.
that's awesome.
Build a lightsaber.
Yeah, we're I'm
My-
going down like the week after Wicked Weekend. I'm going down. Me and my girlfriend. I'm meeting her father, and one of those days I'm going to Galaxy's Edge. The next day I'm going to her college, Full Sail. She wants to give me a tour and checking out NXT that day, and then just doing whatever in Florida, and then driving back.
Awesome.
Do you know what kind of what themed saber you're getting?
Shit, I don't know. For $200, I'd get any color. I don't care.
Well,
Prefer-
they give you like 4 different. There's like power and control, elemental nature. Like there's different themes. Like when you build it, like they show you like
This
okay,
is
these
the one that puts more money back in my wallet.
they're
I-
all $200 no
Yeah.
matter what.
Well,
But I know I want the elemental nature one because the bottom pommel, one of the options is a rancor tooth.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
that's the one my cousin got. Was the one with the rancor tooth.
Just real quick, James, do you need to go? James, do you need to
Yeah,
go?
I gotta fly, guys.
Okay.
Harrison's crying. So
Well, we'll catch you later, James, and we'll wrap things up shortly anyway. And it'll just, I'm going to keep it on me for a second while I just fix the cameras real quick. And so Galaxy's Edge.
I want to go so bad. I want to build lightsabers. I want to build droids. Like, Ash and I have never honeymoon.
I'll tell you all about it when I come back.
I've watched hundreds of hours of YouTube videos on this stuff, and so the name of the place is called Savvy's Workshop,
Mhm.
and like right next door to that is a place called Doc Ondar's. You owe it to yourself to go into Doc Ondar's and buy a red kyber crystal just to see if you get the black one.
Just to see.
They
if you-
changed. Well, see, what they did was they used to have inside the red. So when you build a lightsaber, you get a choice of red, green, purple, blue, and I think orange.
Okay.
If you go into Savi's workshop, you can get additional crystals. They're like $15 each. You can get red, you can get white, you can get yellow. So you can get all the different colors. But the red ones inside, like 1 out of every 100 red canister, was a excuse me, was a black kyber crystal. It would still make your lightsaber turn red, but it was a black crystal. And so people were showing on YouTube, like, hey, if you shine a flashlight to these red ones that are on display, you can see which one is black. And people were stampeding because if you look on eBay, these things are going for hundreds of dollars now because
wow.
they're so rare. So people were stampeding and like crashing into displays and knocking over cast members. So they're like, fuck this, we're not doing this anymore. Now they're all behind the counter and they all have black paper on the inside so you can't shine a flashlight on it in order to find out if you got it. The other thing that's super fucking cool about these lightsabers is you can buy the legacy sabers, like Vader's or Luke's or who's ever in Doc Ondar's shop, but they don't come with a blade. The blade's an extra $50. The one that you do for 200 comes with the blade. They put it all together and everything for you. Like the bag that they give you has essentially a pool noodle in it, so you can put the whole saber in. You strap it across your back. You can walk around the park and not worry about it breaking. But every single lightsaber crystal produces a different sound when you ignite the blade.
Oh,
They're slightly different, but they're very distinct. Like you can hear the difference with each one. I think the best one personally is the white, the sound that the white one makes. And then if you end up getting like holocrons, you can put them in the holocrons, the Jedi or Sith holocrons, and depending on what color you have, like you'll get a different voice. Maybe it's Liam Neeson, maybe it's Mace Windu, maybe it's Ewan McGregor, like telling you history of the Jedi or the Sith. It's so cool. I want them so like I have an Obi-Wan Force Effect saber that I've had for about 10 years.
Yep.
And it's really nice, but they're like $150. Like this one, it's yours. Like you create it. So what they do is there's 4 options. Like again, it's power and control, like elemental nature. Power and control looks very Sith-like. Then there's 2 other ones. It's like, peace and justice, and then something else. I forget what the 4th one is. And so, what were you gonna say?
Huh?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
I was gonna say it after you. We're done.
Okay. Each thing, so you have 2 handles, or 2 grips, top and a bottom grip, an emitter where the blade comes out, and a pommel. So they give you twice as many pieces as you need. So you choose, so you'll get 4 grips, 2 pommels, 2 emitters. You choose what you want, and they take the rest back. So like each one, like you might have the same thing as someone, but whatever you make is inherently you. So I just think it's so cool.
Quality against the Force effects, because I have 2.
They give you the base of your saber is plastic, but all the pieces are steel.
Okay.
Like you can duel with these.
So I mean, is it better than the Force effects? Is it about the same?
From what people have been saying, like it's better quality, partly because you can easily just pop the blade out.
Okay.
Like if I looked up like, oh, how can I take my Obi-Wan blade out? And like I need a drill press and
wow.
all kinds of tools and an engineering degree.
Yeah.
And I'm like
I'm taking night class at the MIT right now. It's just
pull this out, cut these wires, reattach the wires, don't cross the streams. Like all. But yeah, I want to do this so badly. It's not even funny.
So they have we're doing that. We're doing the Olga's Cantina, and just some of the drinks they have is just
It's got to be blue milk.
Do not. From what a friend of mine just went recently, and she said, do not get the fuzzy tauntaun. It makes your tongue numb.
That's what I've heard. Yes, I heard the same thing.
Well, with the ingredients it has, I'm reading it right now. Yeah, buzz, button, tingling foam. Yeah, numb tongue. Yep. Add in the vodka, the schnapps, cane sugar. Yeah, your tongue will be numb.
You can get the Baby Yoda drink, but it's not on the menu, and you have to ask them specifically for the child drink.
Okay.
They'll make like a little martini that looks like Baby Yoda, like with the coat and like the olive eyes. And
they should have just gave you a little cup of soup.
They even
alcoholic soup.
Oh, yeah.
they even have a drink called the Yub Nub.
Yub nub. Yeah.
I want to go. See, we never had a honeymoon, and like this is what we want to do. Like we want to go down to Disney and Universal, but it turns out that they want money.
Well, in the middle of this month, February, they're gonna enable fast passes for the Millennium Falcon ride.
Oh, yeah. I have a friend who lives in Orlando, and he's always posting stuff. Him and his wife, like they're absolutely adorable. But like, they're like, oh, today we're going to this place, and like, today we're going to go here, and we're going to do this, and like, they're always, oh, it's so great. It's so great. I live vicariously through them.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait.
Steven, I want video. I want to see this. I want have your special lady take video of you building your lightsaber, because it's just the coolest thing. And I want to see how happy you get building your lightsaber, because like I'm looking at you now and you look like you're just on cloud 9, and that would make me, watching you be happy would make me happy.
So are you driving down in one shot, or are you gonna stop along the way?
We're planning on doing one shot. We're taking shifts. We're going to make a stop to the distillery because me and my girlfriend both love Jack Daniels. And on the way back, since New York is close to us, we're going to make a pit stop to the Joker Steps.
Very cool.
So
yeah, it should take you probably about 22 hours to get down there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we've clocked ours at. I don't think when we plan on, like I plan on driving, like I'm just going to.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, when I drove back last time, I was a bit further south. I think it was about 28 hours. I got lost and ended up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Oh.
I took a wrong turn and like ended up in Pennsylvania. It was like,
how was it Utah?
Yeah.
Welcome to Utah.
God damn you, MapQuest.
Stupid Apple Maps. I'm in the middle of the ocean. You like that episode of The Office where it's like, it says turn right. No, that's a stream. No, it says to go straight. And they drive right into the water.
Actually, I think I was using paper maps when I did that.
I'm not familiar with that app.
See, back in the day, we didn't have the phones to like tell us where to go. We had to actually.
Yeah, you're not much older than I am, so.
You had to print MapQuest before you left. You had to pray to God nothing had changed.
Yeah.
This was accurate in 1974. I assume everything's the same.
Oh God, I remember that.
Holy shit!
Are any of you guys familiar with the Mighty Boosh?
I think I started watching it, but I haven't really got into it.
There's an episode where they have to deliver a Russian bear somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna take another 8 hours." They're like, "Why don't we just follow this road? Like the map says we can just go this way," and it ends up being like a piece of licorice. It's like, we followed this road. Like we should be there in 20 minutes. It's like, that was 6 hours ago. It's like, yeah, I followed this road, and he's like, he pulls it up. He's like, this road. Of course, they called it a strawberry bootlace, but I mean, it's essentially like a Twizzlers pull-and peel, like really thin thing. And he's like, yeah, this road.
Tori says, never be able to fold it back the way it should be. I used to get like the Rand McNally books, like on a ring binder. Those were really good. And
I just use a globe.
A globe,
yeah.
There you go. Well, I know we are running late. I just wanted to say real quick, I meant to say this when James was here. Birds of Prey is getting a early release for people that are signed up to DCU, and it's being early released in 30 cities. The closest one to us is New York, but it's being released, I believe, next week. And
I still don't know what I feel about that. All I keep seeing is Harley Quinn, and I'm super confused on what the hell that has to do with Birds of Prey.
Well, and apparently it has a very Tarantino-esque feel.
So
sign me up. You had me at Tarantino.
So is she going to be dropping like N-bombs nonstop?
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes just for walking, just to shot of her feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say like, well, he's already done that in Once Upon a Time.
In Hollywood.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in on you, nasty ass, dirty feet.
Oh my god.
Give that movie credit. I mean, it's got like 10 Oscar noms.
I really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
loved that movie.
Okay.
It was
My
awesome.
favorite part was when I said, "Oh, they didn't do a." We're watching the credits. I'm like, they didn't do a reference to Red Apple cigarettes, and then the mid-credit scene popped up.
And I am convinced that the guy in the we talked about this on the show in the cantina. I'm forgetting his name. Eye patch Marvel.
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury. Sam Jackson. I'm convinced Sam Jackson is in the cantina.
I just rewatched it last night,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm convinced.
I haven't rewatched it yet. That's one of the few I haven't picked up recently.
By the way,
Oh, nice.
Super fancy.
mm,
What about you, Yo-Yo? Have you rewatched it?
No, not yet. I showed you I had the Steelbook, but yeah,
Yeah.
time is something that I have little of.
I hear you.
I've only watched 45 movies this month.
well, the thing is, they're re-releasing the Best Picture things in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
The ones I haven't seen, Parasite, and Little Women. So I'm going to see those, and we're going to be doing like a big recap on our podcast of Best Pictures. My co-host has to see Jojo Rabbit, Ford versus Ferrari, Little Women, Parasite.
I
So
haven't seen any of those four.
Yeah, I need to see. I hear Jojo Rabbit is really good, and I hear Ford versus Ferrari is really good also.
Jojo Rabbit was great. Even Taika Waititi, whether he's doing Thor or not Thor, like he does really good with this.
What We Do in the Shadows, like, how good was that?
I've only seen a couple episodes, but it's pretty good.
No. The film.
Oh, I haven't seen the film.
Taika Waititi, Jermaine Clement, like, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Even 1917, I was blown away. I mean, one long continuous shot. It's very rare in cinema. You know, you have Alfred Hitchcock's Rope as a perfect example. That's one long continuous shot. But 1917 is another one that's
Children
great.
of Men.
Huh? Children of Men, yeah.
Oh, that was what TT? What TT? What I can't.
No,
say.
talk about. He's bringing up continuous shots.
Oh, got it. Okay.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Children of
honestly.
Men was.
I haven't. The last movie I saw was Underwater, and prior to that was Rise of Skywalker. So we haven't gone to the movies much. Although I did just re-watch Rise of Skywalker with my brother last week.
I will say, The Gentleman and The Turning are two movies you want to avoid.
I want to see The Turning just because after watching Terminator, I really enjoyed Mackenzie Davis in that. But,
Dark Fate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I really liked Dark Fate.
okay. I haven't watched it yet.
I picked up a few on Vudu. I picked up that and Parasite. Like, Snowpiercer was amazing, so I'm sure Parasite's going to be awesome. But
Are they still doing that show?
What We Do in the Shadows?
No,
No.
Snowpiercer.
Oh, Piercer.
I heard Jennifer Connelly was attached, but like I haven't heard anything since. Like, there's so much stuff that keeps getting announced and canceled and announced and canceled
Yeah.
and then announced and then put on the shelf, and I don't know.
Well,
It's a good movie.
I think it's about time we wrap things up. Anything else you guys have before we do?
If you let me, I will talk forever. You know that. Leah.
Ditto.
And I love that, Patrick. Let's see actually, no, I won't trust the buttons. Okay. Since everything moved around.
Is
Well, click on the
So it's
person.
like, you gotta click me and it's gonna be James somehow.
Yeah.
You'll be like,
I left. How am I coming back? Okay. So, Steven, where do you like people following you?
As always, Super Retro Throwback Reviews is on the Dorkening Podcast Network. Super Retro Throwback Reviews on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look for it. Our podcast, The Audio Files, wherever you get your podcasts. And we have our other podcast, CSI The Vegas Files, on the Dorkening Podcast Network, Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify. And we'll be at Wicked Weekend with the Dorkening.
Awesome. Okay, Patrick.
I will also be at Wicked Weekend. We booked our room with the Whirlpool tub. We're very excited. But yeah, throwdownthursdaypodcast.com is the easiest place. It's kind of like your one-stop shop. You can follow us on social media, Ashes and myself. You can hear the latest episode. You can hear the latest episode of my side project, Shark Bites. You can click the links on the top, and check out our Twitter, our Instagram, our Facebook. You can buy some Deadly Grounds coffee, which is super delicious and amazing. You can check out our Tea Public store, because we're always it seems like that stuff's always on sale. So you can buy a shirt. You can look fabulous while representing your shows. And I think I bought a Dorkening shirt. You can buy a Super Retro shirt. You can support all your favorite podcasts pretty much on those on that site. So go there and buy shirts and give us your dollars. And I have an I never ever talk about this, but I have an Amazon author page because I have a couple of books out. Monsters in the Closet is a collection of short stories, and then I'm in another like Lovecraftian anthology called More Lore from the Mythos. And How Much Do You Tip an Exorcist will be coming out later this year.
Very cool. Yo.
You can find me at Boy Meets Phone on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Where everything is social media should probably be there. Yo Saint Laurent on those same social media channels. And of course here.
Okay.
Yep.
And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But more importantly, check out the awesome people here. I put a lot of links in the show notes down below or up above, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And for all the people here. Also, Deadly Grounds, our sponsor. Please support them. And also the information for Wicked Weekend, which we will be there end of next month. And with that, I want to thank you all for checking us out. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Have a good night, everyone.